Now, if you're watching this video, I want you to know that it's definitely for you, right? And honestly, I already know you're probably at a similar position in your trading journey that I once was. And that's why I'm here to really, no hype, no charts, no, what I'm saying? None of that. I just want to talk to you and really break down and help you get through that mental blockage that you're probably at. Because like I said, I was there once too. Everybody has to go through it, honestly. And I know you're probably at the point where, you're passing funded accounts, then blowing them, or blowing a bunch of accounts. And then once you do pass, you make 10, 20,000 on that funded account, and then you don't get the payout. Hey, your time is coming. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna get you right. So look, y'all, it's just a few crucial, extremely important things that you just gotta accept and you gotta understand before you get where you want, right? You're gonna get that dream car, right? You're gonna get them dream cars, right? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get whatever you want, whether it's that penthouse, whether it's that mansion in the hills, right? You're gonna get those back-to-back payouts. You're gonna have those 6-figure months trading. Trust me, it's possible. But like I said, it's just a couple things that you just gotta get over that mental hurdle. And once you do, shit, it sounds cliche, it sounds a little corny, but shit, the sky's the limit, honestly. Like, it's really your world. You gotta think. Whatever you can think of, you could really create, honestly. All this shit sounds corny, man, especially coming from me to the camera right now, just because this is stuff that I heard, right? And I was very open-minded while hearing things like this, right? I'm not just, like I said, this video, you're watching this at this time for a reason, right? You might have heard this your whole life. You can do anything. You can be anyone. You feel me? You might have always heard that, but it doesn't really resonate until now, right? Me right now, while telling you, it should click. It should make sense. Honestly, you different than most people, right? So you're going to get different results. It's that simple. But you just got to switch up that mindset, rewire it just a little bit different, and it's going to start flooding in. So look, one of the first things, honestly, I do want to say, just because it's 2026, bro, and the big 26, I'm not going to lie, trading has turned into it's so gamified and so gamble-fied, if that's even a word, right? It's not what it used to be, right? We used to watch hours of content, watch hours of videos just to learn. We used to spend hours on the charts back testing. We used to watch numerous podcasts and listen to podcasts and stuff. I used to read plenty books. We used to really be in the trenches with this trading shit, right? Nowadays, it's just more of, it can go up, it can go down. Should I buy or sell? I don't know. Let me just go buy a funded account and try to pass in one day. That shit's corny. I'm not gonna lie. Me personally, I've taken advantage of funded accounts, obviously. I've made multiple 6 figures on funded accounts, but that shit it's honestly just not it. I'm not gonna lie. Especially with how, like I said, it's so gamified. It's just such a gambling type of persona behind it. The way it's put out on the internet and the way people just get into trading, don't know shit about anything, right? Don't even know how to count pips or count points or whatever you want to call it, right? Y'all don't even know Forex and futures is the same thing, right? People are getting into it and not even really putting in that work. And it starts with those funded accounts. Something I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe Swaggy C, right? One of the OGs in the game. I remember when I was first into it, I was watching him and he said, if you can't turn $100 into $1,000 10 times, you don't know what you're doing with this trading shit, right? And I'm not gonna lie, that makes sense. If you could turn $100 into $1,000 10 times, that's how you know you're really starting to get this shit, right? People out here trying to manage multiple 6 figures, trying to go get 30 funded accounts and have $1 million in funding when they've never even ran up a 5-figure trading account before, live account, right? You've never even taken $200 and turned it into $1,000 and actually, taken a withdrawal. You've never turned that $1,000 into $5, right? And actually taken a withdrawal, actually spent that money, actually spent it on nice dinners, vacations, spent it on your family, whatever, right? Why are you trying to skip levels, right? You gotta slow down and really follow and flow with the process. That's the first thing. Those funded accounts, honestly, that shit is like cancer to your developing mindset as a trader. It's like cancer. Just loading up funded accounts, blowing 5 funded accounts on Top Step, boom, buying 5 more, blowing them again. Now you can't use any more Top Steps for the rest of the month. So now you go to Alpha Futures, you get 3 accounts at once, boom, fry them, get 3 more, boom, fry them again. You watch more videos, damn, oh, look, he hit today. Oh, look, he got a payout. Ooh, Lucid trading. Now you're going and trading Lucid. Oh, their rules are better. And you're doing all this research on which prop firm is better and which one gets the max payouts and which one has the most max allocation when you have yet to get a payout, right? You've yet to, like I said, trade a live account, actually grow that account and pay yourself from this trading shit, right? You got to slow down and really treat this shit like a business, right? I'm tired of seeing people treating this shit like it's a fucking game. Like I said, if you want to have real deal business results from this, you got to treat it like a business. You don't see Elon Musk just flipping coins and guessing what he's going to do for the next day with his business. No, he has a plan. He has a structure. He follows the plan. He follows the structure. And he has people around him who's going to also follow their plans, but not only that, keep him in line and make sure that he's sticking to his task as well, right? It's that simple. You feel me? From point A to B to C, D, E, F, G, right? All in order. Simple as that. So that's the first thing, those funded accounts. Now, the next thing is the boom and the bust phase, right? It's too many people. Man, I know some people who is running up 30K on a $50,000 live or a $50,000 funded account and then blowing it. Like, bro, you already hit the max payout. Why are you still trading? You already up 30K on the account. You can only take out, you feel me? You can only take out 5 per account. Why are you still trading, right? Another thing, for example, say you trade on a live account. If you turn in 5,000 into 25,000 and then turn it 25,000 into 300 and then turn it 300 into 12K, and this is all happening within a couple days, within 1 week. Let me teach you something. That's called the boom and the bust phase. It's great when you booming, right? Hitting, you booming, right? You might take that account from 400 to 800, 1200, 16, 3800, 5600, 8K. Like, hey, trust me, I've been there, I've seen it, right? You could do some crazy shit, especially like I said on the live account where it's your money right here, right now. Fuck a funded. You feel me? I've seen that. I've done that. But you can only boom so much until you bust, right? No diddy. That bust, like, you should be able to lose without frying your whole account, right? Or take a couple L's without those couple L's melting 80% of your account balance, right? It's that simple. One losing day, one losing trade shouldn't take your account from 10,000 to 1,500 in one day, right? That's called the boom and the bust phase. So, I'm not the psychology expert. I've trained myself and, I've built a great frame on my mindset and my psychology myself. But one person I would like to recommend for y'all is to go listen to Mark Douglas, right? He has some podcasts you can listen to. Not only that, most importantly, he has 2 books. One being Trading in the Zone, like I said, by Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone. And the other one is called The Disciplined Trader, right? You can go buy them. You can go get the free PDF online, I think, allegedly. Y'all don't know who's watching this. And not only that, you can just listen to the podcast. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube as well, right? Go actually educate yourself, because at the end of the day, man, y'all have heard it before. It sounds cliche, but trading is 90% psychology. So if you don't train your psychology, yeah, you might know what you're doing on the charts, but like I said, you fucking up still. You're not making money still. So something has to change, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result, right? If you knew, oh, damn, this shit made me just blow my account last week. Oh, this shit just made me blow my account yesterday. Maybe don't do it again, right? Imagine you come down in the morning, the stove is on. You put your hand on the stove. That shit hurt, dumbass. But guess what? Okay, learn from your mistake. Are you going to come down tomorrow and... Okay, that's 2 days in a row that you just sat here and put your hand on the red hot stove that you can clearly see. You know not to do it, and you keep doing it. Mind you, that's it doesn't hurt just like the first one. No, that first burn added up with that second burn. Now, if you do it again, those first 2 burns plus that burn, that shit just, it gets worse and worse every time, right? Until you either make or break, right? You don't want to have to keep burning yourself to learn that lesson, right? You can make it. You can get up on this trading shit. You can make it without having to break yourself down so many times over and over. Like I said, it's just about reflecting, analyzing yourself, reflecting on it, and then improving from there, right? If you never reflect on what you're doing wrong and never intentionally go out to try to improve on it, you never will. Or maybe you might, but just very slowly. Now, another thing I want to say, some of y'all gonna hate me for it, but you might have to get a job. I'm sorry. Now, if you're a real deal hustler, hey, I'm telling you, you could just get an income, right? You could just get an income. You'll be fine with that. But a lot of y'all not hustlers, so which is fine. You feel me? I'm not the type to bash on a job, right? I just don't want to work on my damn self. But look, you might have to get a job, or if not, get an income, because at the end of the day, man, some of y'all are just too addicted to trading. And like I said, I say some of y'all, but I've been there and I've done that. So I totally get it and understand, right? You're addicted to trading. You're just doing it. You're just trading all day, right? That's what's fucking you up. And not only that, it's tampering with your psychology, because not only are you trading all day, but you're relying on trading, right? So every single time you're looking at a setup, every single time you're entering a setup, every single time you're considering exiting, right? In the back of your head, you know damn well bills is coming up, food, you got to eat, this and that, boom, boom, boom. And you're relying on the charts to actually be able to, fund all that for you. And that's what's making you fuck up and make bad decisions, right? You're not in flow state because you're constantly stressing and you're constantly having emotions backing up what you shouldn't do, instead of just operating, like I said, in flow state and doing what you should do, what you know you should do, and just doing it, right? That's simple. So even for my story, even for example, about a year and some change in, when I was trading, because I didn't start on funded accounts. I started with live accounts, but about a year and some change in, when I got into the funded accounts, I got some pretty good, some pretty good consistent payouts. I'm 19 at the time, so I'm thinking, oh, okay, I want to be smart with my money, right? I don't want to be, I don't want to be a dickhead. I don't know how the lighting looks. Let me see. I can check. Oh yeah. So yeah, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be a dickhead. I don't want to be dumb with my money. So I ended up, boom, taking a little bit over 40K and going on a down payment on my first home, right? Which is obviously, that's a smart decision. Financially, I just wanted to, I'm young. I know real estate, I didn't know the most back then, but I know real estate, millionaires always into real estate. I know it's smart to, have your own property, boom, 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 this and that. So boom, I ended up getting my first property back then. But at the same time, now I'm like 40 something K down in the hole. So, I was making those consistent payouts, but now it's just like, damn, all that money's gone. And what am I going to do? Expect to just do it again? Of course, I'm going to expect to just do it again. But now I'm relying on myself, and it's more pressure on myself to make that money back and to, be able to know that I can consistently do this. My fault, y'all. The camera died, or actually the memory got full. But like I basically was saying though, putting that a large amount of money down like that, and then having to rely on trading so heavily to make it back, and putting that pressure on myself, it did start to fuck with my head a little bit. And, I did start to stumble and see a little bit of inconsistency based off of that, because, like I said, that's just a large amount of money. I'm very young, 19, just trying to do the right thing, and ended up putting myself in a position where, boom, we got to hustle and run it right back up, right? So, I understand that struggle of, having to rely on trading. And I just know that having another income would definitely help me a lot. Help me back then in that position, right? But even when I first started, shit, I was 17. Basically just turned 18. I was basically turning 18 in a couple months. But, feel me, I was doing DoorDash, doing Instacart, running up, a couple hundred a day off of that, just grinding, spending hours, right? I'm listening to podcasts, watching videos on trading. I'm in the passenger seat taking orders while I'm waiting on orders. I don't got no orders. I'm sitting there with my laptop in the passenger seat, my hotspot going, watching trading videos. I'm trading in the morning, waking up, and then boom, done from there, hustling, right? Making that money, doing what I had to do. And that was able to actually help me, fund my accounts. But not only that, I know I can make good decisions in the markets because I know I have money I can still, bring in, right? I know, boom, I might put 2 to 500 in my account. And that's what I was really doing in the beginning, taking 2 to 500, flipping it into, a band, 2-3 bands, running it up. Most weeks I was making good profits, right? But I had those weeks where I would just blow it, or I had those times where I run up 3 bands, go down to like 1,500, go back up, that boom and that bust, right? I had that phase of inconsistency, and what helped me break out of it quicker is knowing I got more money coming in outside of this trading shit. So I know I could be locked in and be in flow state and make good decisions that I know I'm supposed to do in the markets as I'm maturing as a, very young trader back then. Young in age, but young as in experience as well, too. Now that goes to what I was basically just saying, though. Stick to the plan, man. You got to set the plan and stick to it. Why do you tell yourself, I'm not going to pop this high lot size. I'm not going to over leverage anymore. You wake up and still do it. I'm not going to trade Asian session gold anymore because I keep frying myself. I'm making money in New York, but then I'm trading in Asian and fucking up. Why do you do it again? Oh, I'm not going to trade on Sundays. Why are you so eager to trade on a Sunday? The market's just open and you just fried your account last Sunday. You grinded to make that money back, loaded up another account, and then came back the next Sunday and did it again. Stick to the plan, bro. Like, discipline is the highest form of self-respect. If you tell yourself something that you're going to do, you got to do it. It's that simple, right? Whew. Like, even for me, that reminds me, back when, years back, right? Like I said, me getting into my early funded stages, because I was already a year and some change into fundeds trading before I started fundeds. So I remember getting a $200,000 account, right? The CFD firms are a little bit different than futures. I know most of y'all just trade futures firms. The CFD firms are a little bit different, but same concept, right? $200K account is a lot different. The payouts is a lot different back then. So I had gold in my hands, right? I could make a crazy payout with that $200K account. So, I was used to making some bread on the live account, but it hit different when I got on the funded. So, boom, I passed my 200K. I ended up booking a flight to Hawaii. I was staying there for about 2 weeks, 14 days, literally. Staying there for about 2 weeks in Hawaii. And I'm like, yeah, nigga, I'm that nigga. Like, you feel me? I'm on this funded shit. I'm making this bread. I'm out traveling and making money from my phone. Like, damn, this that trading shit for real. This that lifestyle. Like, this is really that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm really feeling myself. A little too much, though, right? No diddy. No weird shit. But what I'm getting at is, look, I got to Hawaii. It was a 6-hour time zone difference. So you know how jet lag is. I'm on the plane all day and shit, barely getting sleep. And then boom, I fly in. I'm like 6 hours back. I get there. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. I'm smoking up. You know what I'm saying? Boom, vibing. I check the time. It's like 2 a.m. Almost 3 a.m. I said, oh shit. Damn, it's almost New York session. So what did my dumb ass do? I didn't really not follow my plan, but I just kind of didn't follow my plan because I wasn't in the right mindset. I wasn't in flow state. And when I know my mindset is triggered like that, I shouldn't even trade, right? That comes down to it. That's a psychological manner, right? So basically, jet lag, sleepy, boom, bada boom. I didn't even get to settle in where I was yet. And next thing you know, 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m., I'm over here trying to trade. Long story short, I fell asleep in my position with no stop loss set. I woke up in panic, bro. I woke up like, oh shit. Check my phone. I saw that email on my lock screen. GG's, bro. I got fucked. No diddy. Damn. All right, let me stop saying it. But anyways, yeah, I got fucked up on that trading account. And I blew it the first day of my vacation. So, I did still enjoy the trip, obviously. But I had to spend time getting another account back while I was there instead of spending that time making profits. So, it's just little shit like that, bro. You got to be disciplined. You got to just stay smart because at the end of the day, it's you versus you, bro. Once you learn the strategy, once you get everything down, I can teach you everything that I know, but it's going to come down to being you versus you, right? I can only, man, this shit sounds corny, but I can lead you to the water, but I can't force you to drink it. It's really that simple. I can't click the button for you. I can show you how I'm doing it. I can show you the fuck ups I did go through. I can show you everything good. But I cannot click buy and I cannot click sell for you. I just can't. I've never traded with people's money before. Shit. I might as well be open for it. But shit I have never had before. That's not what this is about. This is about you being able to trade your money and you getting to the status that you want to get to, right? You want to be that top tier trader, getting them top tier dollars. I believe in you, gang. And that's why you just got to listen to this message all the way through and believe in yourself, bro. No cap. Because in trading, another thing you got to learn is less is more, bro. Right? All that fancy shit, all that bullshit you see on the line, you got to block out the noise, right? Something that really elevated me in my trading journey was blocking out the noise, right? You know, once I learned to start, at one point I'm in 10 different Discords. I'm looking at Twitter threads, searching up NAS 100 on Twitter and looking at what all people are saying recently, looking at their chart markups. I'm looking on YouTube, TikTok, seeing who's live, trading on live. I know what I'm doing, bro. I know what I'm doing. Follow my plan, follow my strategy, follow my setup, and do it and get done, right? One pair, one strategy, one session, one setup. Get out of there. Done. Right? What are you doing? Block out the noise. It doesn't matter what he, she, whatever the fuck is doing. You don't need to be in 10 Discords taking all their trades, going on Twitter watching, taking all their trades, going live on taking all their trades. Less is more, bro. Keep this shit simple and you gonna see why, right? You gonna make them profits. You gonna see why. Like, keep that shit simple. Because at the end of the day, what you've been doing hasn't been working. Be real with yourself. What you've been doing hasn't been working. Now let me ask you this. What is the consequence? And y'all know what a consequence is. Something bad, right? What is the consequence of you actually just following your plan, right? You know what to do. You know why you should do it, right? And I mean, unless you don't, I can help you as a brand new beginner, but I'm sure most of you, you know what to do. You know why you should do it. So do it, right? The outcome will be magnificent once you just do it, right? There's no consequence to you following your plan. Once you follow your plan, you will get your desired results. It's that simple. What you've been doing hasn't been working. So it's time to switch it up and rewire your brain. Like I said, rewire your mental, rewire your mindset. If you need to be surrounded by people who have these elite trading, successful, profitable mindsets already, you feel me? Blueprint 2.0 will be launching very soon. Check for the link in the description. If it's not there, then hey, keep up with me on Instagram at WildBray. I'm going to put that in there in the description as well. Y'all stay tuned with me because, hey, I've been spending a lot of time. Like I said, I bought a new computer. I've been buying a lot of stuff, investing a lot of time and putting a lot of effort into, really just ramping up and elevating my program. So my students can not only make more money, but they can also learn quicker, get to where they want to get to quicker, have automated systems helping them at all times. You feel me? LLC back-end things like that set up so they're, making more money but spending less on taxes. Everything, I'm really getting everything really ramped up and set up for my students to make more and get to that independent status a lot quicker. So like I said, y'all stay tuned with me. You feel me? And let's get this money.